So for those of you that are in here, welcome. Hi, I'm Sicily. I'm in New York, but I love the OACC because when I was in the Bay Area, I opened a restaurant with my mother called Pinky and Red, and I was also volunteering at the same time, teaching cooking classes in person. And we did our first round of teaching some young people just basic skills, basic techniques. And then it went on where it was like really amazing to be able to provide them with like food handlers and serve safe so they could take the things that they learned and really begin to build a career and turn it into something that they potentially wanted to do through college, help provide a living for themselves while they were in school, and all these really fun things. So I'm super excited to be able to do that now, like over the interweb with you all. So this is week 3. Yes, it's week 3. The first week we talked about knife skills. We made this really fun, fresh, seasonal mango cabbage salad. And then last week we talked about applying heat, and we did it in a really unconventional way. We made flatbread from scratch, and then we talked about how you apply heat on the flatbread. So this week it's versatility, sustainability, which is AKA for leftovers. So this is a dish that I like really, really love. I haven't made it so much as an adult. This was something that I made when my girls were babies, because it was something that was really easy to throw together. It's like 4 ingredients. You throw it all in the pan. It's super simple. So actually I'm going to get started while we talk about it. So we can let the pasta do its thing. So last week we talked about my cute little countertop propane situation. I don't know if you all can see it with the camera, if it's on me or the counter, but this is my handy dandy propane. I guess it's great for camping. I don't know. I don't camp. But it has like a little gas thing on the side. You pop the cap off, you put it in, you click the little handle down, and you click ignite, and it's like a really good flame. I might have to watch it because this is the same can from last week, so I don't want it to go out while we're cooking. So in my pan, we're making shrimp pasta. I'll slide this over a bit so you guys can see it a bit better. We're making shrimp pasta. So we in our house like hate waste. So one thing that we do is like save everything. Not we, so much my partner, and I love her, and she's like really great about it. So she always will save like the shrimp shells, the outside, so we can do stock. So because this is pretty quick and we don't have shrimp stock, I'm actually gonna cook our pasta noodles in with the shells to give us more of a shrimpy flavor. So your recipe says a pound of pasta. This is probably about a pound, maybe just a little bit under. I don't, because we get our groceries delivered because it's a pandemic, they didn't have spaghetti, so I got fettuccine noodles, which is fine too, because the thicker noodle will like coat better. I just cut the top off the bag and then dumped it all in. The thicker noodles will coat a bit better in the end, so it'll be really nice. So I read this article about a year ago, that talked about pasta and how we cook it the wrong way. It was just an article, it's probably just an opinion. And so it said that what you're actually supposed to do is take your, I'm gonna move this around so it's flat and the shells can be on top. Take your pasta, put it in the pan. I'm gonna salt it pretty generously because you want it to be salty like the sea when you taste it, right? So I'm gonna salt it pretty generously. And then, turn that on. And then it says all you should do is take enough water to cover your pasta so it cooks. You shouldn't do like, it'll be like 1 pound and 4 quarts. You shouldn't do that. It says you should just simply cook it and then let it just be enough to cover. So that way it cooks down a bit better, the water, and when it reduces down, it gives you a better starchy water to help with your sauce. And if you're like my smallest daughter and even my teenage daughter, they like just butter. Of course, I mean, like who doesn't like just butter? But they like just butter on top of theirs. So this actually works pretty well because it helps it coat pretty nicely. So we're gonna just do this like this, and then I'm gonna cover it with a sheet pan just to get it boiling a bit faster for the sake of time. Excuse me while I grab one from It sounds like a tornado that I'm grabbing 800 things, but in reality, I just need 4. So I'm gonna cover it, let it begin to boil. I'm probably gonna salt it just a little bit more. And so when you want to think about salt, like we've talked about over the past few weeks, I use kosher salt. I use diamond crystal because the crystals are a little bit finer, and then it's not as salty as like Morton's, or yeah, that's the little girl with the umbrella. So we're gonna let this go. You'll see the shells will at the end be like a little pink, like shrimp. So it'll be really nice. Okay. So then let's talk about cleaning our shrimp. Are you gonna help me out? Are you coming in here? My kid's hanging out. Okay, so our shrimp, right? I'm actually going to cut them and save my shells too. So I started cutting them here and I rinse these out. I'm gonna rinse them again. So you wanna take it. So if this is a lazy man stream, guys, you do not have to do this. You can just make the people work for it and peel the shrimp themselves. But if you wanna like, and that'll help with like the shrinking of the shrimp. But if you wanna be a nice person and do it, that's all you gotta do. So I'm taking a paring knife and I start at the edge and I'm going through the body and I'm just basically slicing all the way through to the tail. And I'm just gonna peel it off. I'm gonna pull the tail and pull it off. And then I just wanna look and make sure that, you know, there's no poop in here. And then I'll just take my knife, this one's pretty good, and just go over it. So we got a few. So if you're cooking at home, we can do it together. Or if not, you can just watch me labor over this shrimp. See, this one's got like poop in it. So we're just gonna take that little, see, it's just a little, I'm just gonna pull it out with my knife. In all honesty, I'm just gonna pull it out with my hand, right? I'm gonna pull the whole thing out. I'm just gonna set it there. There's a little bit more. So I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay. So, do you guys have any questions in the meantime? Do you have any questions, daughter, about shrimp? While we do this.
I mean, I asked a lot of my questions earlier.
You can ask them again. While I'm cleaning.
One of the questions that I had was inappropriate, and the other one I answered my question.
What was your first question? What is the one you answered?
I can't say that on live television.
Oh, you're not gonna say it on live television? That's fair. All right, so then we're gonna clean them. I'm gonna use all these. I mean, I'm gonna cut them all, because whether or not we use them, but my smaller daughter like really likes shrimp, so I'll do the heavy lifting for her. So see, this one's got it all the way through, so you just wanna make sure and check. He ate a lot of food before we caught him. Because that's what it is your digestive tract, right? So
That one?
8, see? This one's hard too. It's super gross, dude.
Is that poop?
Okay. Yep, that's poop.
Ooh, that one got diarrhea.
Oh. So we're
Mom, it's
going
bubbling.
bubbling. Nice. Let's take this off. Thank you, Vanna. Pull this off. We got a nice good boil. So you want it to be al dente. All these jazzy terms to the tooth. You want it to have a bit of a snap. You want to be able to do not throw it up against the wall. Why are you wasting pasta? You want to be able to bite into it and have a bite. You don't want it to be like super gummy. Let me see. Let me rinse out my hand.
Oh, it's rising again.
I'll turn it down just a minute. So we'll take it and we'll look at it. See, it's not quite there yet though, but it's almost there. So, but see, this is what you want. That's all the starch that you want in your sauce to make it have like body and texture to it and not so watery. So I'm just gonna pull them apart a little bit so they can cook through it. But see how the shells are starting to turn pink? It does smell shrimpy. Oh, let's talk about that though, the smell. You want it to smell like the sea. You want it to smell like the ocean. You don't want a fishy smell. You don't want a smell that's like ammonia, because they're starting to turn. So you want it to smell like a summer beach day outside. That's the goal. So I'm gonna let these go just a smidge longer, but I told you this thing is amazing. How it cooks stuff up. That fire is like beautiful. So while this does this, I'm gonna cut a few more of our shrimp. And then I'm going to talk about what we got. The recipe is just lemon zest and juice. So we're gonna do that. And then I also have, like, we use garlic, and so I wanted to use it. It's not in the recipe, but you can totally do it. Our garlic is roasted and it's pre-cooked. So that's why I'm gonna do it, because when we put it in the pan, it's gonna be a bit sweeter. I don't know that I would necessarily use garlic in this recipe, because the thing that makes it sustainable and versatile is can be eaten hot or cold. And that's what I do love about this recipe. Like, you cannot eat it tonight for dinner and pull it out tomorrow and have it be like a cool little like summer pasta. That's really nice. Like if you're on a picnic or a hang, or it's a pandemic and you're in the house and it's too hot to cook, you can have this too. So yeah, we're gonna take advantage of that. We'll probably have enough for tomorrow to have leftovers. So we'll do that. Like, this would be great with some bread and some butter. I'm not gonna lie, I was responsible with the butter. You can totally put more butter. We'll talk about that once we get it going in the pan. That is just like food. This. You wanna rinse this off for me? Since we're almost done. Cut them off. Yeah. And then I'm gonna save the extra shells if you have them. Okay, it's cheaper if you buy it with the shell, right? Because they're charging you for the work that someone has to do to get your shrimp the way you want it. So even if you buy it with the head on, that's not a horrible thing. You just got to do the work, but it does save you money. I like it because, like I said, we use the shells. So what we'll do is, if we don't use them right now, we'll stick them in the freezer, because you can freeze the shells and use them later. Can you go ahead and rinse these off for me and bring them back to me? Thank you so much. I'm rinse my hands too. I'm done with shredded stuff right now.
Should I take out the water?
Yeah, you want to get rid of the water. That's rad. All right. Put this over here for dirty dishes, because we also don't want like cross contamination. You don't want clean hands, dirty hands. Okay. Yep. This is what we want. See that? It looks like it's a little more like pliable and loose. It's beautiful. So I'm just gonna put this in our bowl. I like a metal bowl because it keeps hot things hot and cool things cool. I'm gonna turn this off. No lie, this is my fiance's pan and it's like super nice. It's so nice, and it always makes me so nervous because I feel like I never have a good grasp on it. If your pasta is a little undercooked too, that's okay, because we're gonna cook it again. Better under than over, and you have like gummy pops if you want the texture. So that's totally fine. We're gonna use, all right, get the rest of this out, and then I'm gonna pour a dump of water. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of water. There's our old shells over here. All right, let me set this to the side. I'm gonna dump some of this water out over the sink. In 1 minute. I'm gonna try to save as much water as I can, just because I want to see where I'm at, if I need to add or take away water at times. And then I'm gonna keep as much of my pasta. Just to throw this out. This is like a non-stick pan, and I'm horrible with this pan, but it's like so great. Yeah, so that's why we save the pasta water. And that's why we use less pasta water, because that's going to be a bit thicker and it's going to give us better texture for our sauce. So get all these little guys out. Because yeah, it's good. It's got a bite to it, but it's still soft. Okay, set this to the side. That's gonna stay hot. This is what, I don't know if you can see it, but see, it's pretty murky. That's our water. And this is the majority of like what's left over. So it's about, I don't know, 16 ounces. So your recipe says, this is how fast it goes. Oil, grapeseed oil, twice around is 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna add a little bit extra because we got more shrimp. And that was grapeseed oil. This is garlic oil. Yes, thank you. We took some garlic and we roasted it. Well, she like slow roasted in a pan. And so if you smell it, it smells delicious. So we're gonna use a little bit of that and we're gonna let this heat up. I'm gonna turn it up higher. I'm gonna slide this over for you guys so you can see just a bit better. Thank you, I'll be safe. So you can see it's starting to heat like my little remaining pasta that's in there. So it's going pretty quickly. I'm gonna turn it down. So remember we talked about last week, you want the oil to start to shimmer. You want it to look like the ground on a hot day. You can tell it's doing something because it's starting to sizzle, and that's what you want to hear. If you were in the kitchen, you can smell the garlic in the oil. So I'm gonna take this and I'm actually going to, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a little bit because it's gonna be pretty spicy. But a thing you can play with is the red pepper flakes. You can put them in now and then add your shrimp and toss them. And as if you want it a bit more spicier, if you want it to be like just a little bit of kick but cool, you can hang back. So I'm just gonna add a little bit now and a little bit later. That's a lot. I also have, what is this? Like paprika that's not ground. So it looks like a lot, but it's gonna be smoky and like really, really good. So I'm just gonna stir it a little bit. So see, you can see it's starting to pull the color. And then I'm gonna add some salt because I wanna toast all of my things. So even when it's cold, it has like a smoky, spicy flavor to it. We're not gonna add the lemon juice and the zest right now because, well, first the lemon juice because it'll cook out. We may add a little bit of zest after we add the shrimp and then we'll finish with more zest. So I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little more. And now I'm gonna add my shrimp. So let's talk about this because people will be like, what if it splashes? It's gonna kill me, I don't wanna die. So you wanna take your oil, see how it's all moving that way? And then I'm gonna add my shrimp at the top. Yeah, it's nice, it's not popping too much. Also, there we go. So the oil's down there, and I'm gonna put my shrimp in. You wanna listen for the sizzle. I hope you can hear it. Can you hear it now? I just turned it up higher. And then I'm gonna add all of my shrimp in. You can do it in batches, but for me, this is like a really good like one pot dish, and we don't have to fight it. And then you can set it, once you set it down, you can move it back. I may add a little bit more oil. Oh, I did say, let me take some shrimp out for my child. I forgot I was gonna save some for her. So look, boom. So I'm gonna use a spoon. Hey, lovey. There we go. You rinse my hand, and then so you can hear our shrimp like nice and sizzly. Our paprika and stuff is getting nice and toasty. So see, we're getting good color. It's okay if it sticks a little bit because you also want like those little moments in the pan where like it's an unexpected piece of shrimp. So it doesn't have to be like super perfect. Yeah. Did you say something, Rachel? Are there any questions? Sorry. So see, our shrimp is going pretty quickly. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. I'm actually gonna use garlic oil because I want more flavor, but the grapeseed is okay too. So while this is almost done, I'm gonna add our pasta back in. And that's why I was saying it's okay if it's not like fully cooked. I'm just not gonna add the shells. Oh, I'm gonna save this for my kids because she can eat it with butter. So see, I'm gonna just give it a good turn. Yeah, you got the right idea, Madison. So we're gonna add this in.
You can.
And And then you want to add, so what we're going to do is deglazing. I'm going to add the water, the pasta water in, just a little bit. See how like you can see it on the side over here? It's like nice and saucy, but that's because we didn't use like 4 quarts to our pound. We just used pepper, so it's like filling up quite nicely. So, and then it'll cook down a little bit better, so I can actually add a little more. So see all those bits that were like sticking? They're totally pulling up now, and that's what like deglazing does. You add the liquid in, and all the good bits that are called fond, all the stuff that gets stuck at the bottom of the pan, it picks it up. So I'm actually going to add just a little bit more pasta water to this. So see, it doesn't look as aggressive once you add the shrimp and the pasta to the amount of paprika and chili flakes we put in there. I'm not gonna add crushed red pepper flakes. I'm gonna use a little bit of paprika for the smoke and let that just sizzle in there. I'm gonna taste the broth and see how the broth tastes. Pretty good. So then I'm gonna take my lemons. It's good, it's smoky, it's spicy. I'm gonna roll them a little bit because they were in the refrigerator, so they're pretty stiff. And I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna cut them in half. And then I'm gonna do this off the heat, right? Because we're done. And then I'm just gonna squeeze my juice over. I'm gonna do a lot of lemon juice because I want the acid. It's a lot of butter.
Ooh, Anna likes that.
Let me grab one more lemon. Can you grab me a lemon out of the refrigerator? And then can you grab me the butter that's on the top shelf of the refrigerator? This is a lot. It's gonna be super lemony, but it's gonna be great tomorrow when it's cold and you got that like citrus in there. It's gonna be really delicious. You want to eat it now? Almost. Cool. Thank you. So I'm gonna just take my microplane, my zester, and I want to zest until I see pale yellow, but not white. The white part is the right and bitter. So see, it's a little, I don't know if my screen is frozen. You can see it, but yeah. So it's like not quite, it's almost there, but it's still yellow. So it's like bright and vibrant and summery. Gonna set that there. And then I have my 2 tablespoons of butter that we talked about in the recipe. And so I'm just gonna finish it with butter. So I'm not gonna like, it's off, the heat is off. I'm just gonna sit here and stir the butter in just to begin to coat it all and like let it melt in there to give this like very like buttery, slick, help like thicken up and add body to my sauce. Left here. Go wash your hands. So see, I'm just gonna stir it until it melts. You can get really creative with this. Like if you've got like a really nice cheese that you can grate. Like we used to eat this when the girls were younger, and I would grate like there was like a cheese that was like aged in like a whiskey barrel that was like smoky and good that we would just like grate over the top. But see the sauce, how like nice and thick the sauce is and how it coats super well. Our class went by fast today, friends. Yes, so the butter, we did talk about that, but the butter is cold when we pulled it. I pulled it, it's been in the refrigerator the whole class. I pulled it out so it's cold. You don't want it to start to melt and like break down. You nice and cold and crisp as it melts into the pasta. It doesn't like become oily and separate, but it's like the viscosity is there, the texture is there, the body and the smoothness is there. So it helps to coat. So this is our lovely dish. You can always add more shrimp if you wanted. You could always cut your shrimp if you wanted. to be able to like, you know, if you've got a large party and you want to save some money and you don't want to like have big pieces of shrimp, so it means everybody only gets 4 pieces, but you want to like cheat the system a little bit so everybody's got like a good amount of shrimp, you can do that as well. I'm just gonna slide this over a little bit, and then we're gonna plate it. So if you want, like, normally I would just throw this whole thing in like a bowl. I'm giving it to my children so it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect, Mom. It looks good just the way it is.
And you want like a little height, and then I'm gonna give them, you know, like a few shrimps. And then if you've got like, let's see, did we have like parsley or something? If you've got like fresh parsley, ground parsley or anything like that, you can like garnish it with that. So you have like a little bit of green. You guys want to try it?
Yeah,
I'll give you some more
lemon.
lemon zest on top. Let me grab another spoon. I'll spoon you over some more sauce. My sauce is super big. We should have made more sauce. All right, family, you want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Here. You're the shrimp lady. You tell me.
Wait, what?
So, okay, my kid's gonna quality control it. I don't know if you can see us on the top or like forward facing. So she's gonna go ahead and try it. You want to try it? Grab a fork. And that's it, guys. Do you have any questions? Any questions anywhere? How is it? Good. Do you guys want to try it? Come try it. Do you guys have any questions anywhere? No? Okay. So I hope that, oh, there is a question. How many days is the fish good for? I would keep it for like 2 to 3 days. You want it to be super fresh. You want it to be crisp. You don't want it to start to like break down and be like mushy or anything like this. So I would say like 2 to 3 days. If you're making a big batch, believe it or not, if you're eating it cold, it goes really fast. I can't see the questions on my iPad. Thanks. Yeah, it's like super easy. Like this one is one of my favorites, and it's a go-to because it doesn't take like a ton of work. Like it's literally what, 4 ingredients. It's shrimp, pasta, butter, oil, salt, pepper, and lemon and pepper flakes. So okay, 6, I lied. But it's super simple. It's good. It feeds everybody. I think it's nice also because it gives kids that fix of like buttery pasta where it's not like super complicated. So it's not a dish that like you'll have to make for you and then like adjust for the family. Like it's something that everyone can eat. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. And next week, I'm not sure. It depends on the weather because I might have an AC. No, I'm just kidding. It's true. It's hot in New York. It's ridiculous. We'll try something fresh. We'll do something fun. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to like email any one of us. I'm Sicily, Sicily, at food plus, spelled out, foodpluspeople.com. So if you have any questions about this or the flatbread that we did or the salad from week 1 or preserved lemons, just feel free to email me. I'll ask wherever your questions are. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.